I think that you're like a huge reason that women's wrestling is at the level that it's at right now. Like the knockouts division like completely changed the game. But I think a lot of people will specifically point to the matches that you and Gail Kim had.
Yeah, that was definitely a spark, to this inferno of women's wrestling now, honey, because they are doing it.
Yeah.
It's just wrestling now. It's not even necessarily women's wrestling. They're just workers out there now, going out there and doing the deal. It's no more pop, because it used to be like the women were popcorn matches. They'd always put us in a second, like the second match, so that people could go to the bathroom or get their popcorn, hence popcorn match or whatever. And it's been, it's getting much more respect now, and women are demanding more respect now. And outside of Gail and I, our program being successful, I'd like to say, and that being having influence over women's wrestling, I like to say I had a lot of influence on women advocating for themselves. Because, honey, TNA, I would not keep my mouth shut. Boy, you would think, girl, you just got in here. Who are you to talking to the office like so? But I just couldn't understand some of the things that were going on. I'm like, that's backwards, honey. You can't tell me that when Kong and Gail pop on the screen and y'all telling me that the numbers are spiking high, those are the numbers that are highest all night. You can't tell me that I'm not worth X amount of money on paper.
Right.
For example, one of my, they would put you through the gauntlet. They would put you through the maze of asking, of how you were to ask for a raise or to implement change. And one of the times I asked for a raise, I had found out what Kurt had made, and I was like, all I'm asking for is 1/10 of what he's making. Now you look me in my eye and you tell me I'm not worth 1/10 of Kurt Angle. I want you just to tell me that. And if you can't tell me that, then pay me that. You know what I mean? One or the other. You tell me that I'm not worth 1/10 of a Kurt Angle. Well, then what am I doing here? You know what I mean? I got to figure out some other stuff. But if you could tell me that, then pay me.
Especially when you're the main attraction. You're the knockouts champion. Like you're one of the top female wrestlers, not only there, but in the world at that time.
One of the top female wrestlers, and coming home to one couch, one fork, one spoon, one plate. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Sure.
But well, but not that if I had a bunch of money, I'd buy a lot of furniture. I prefer.
You might buy more than one fork, though.
I live kind of like a psychopath anyway. We don't like a lot of busy stuff, crazy people. It's too distracting. But just to illustrate my point, is when you're on the road in wrestling, when you're in wrestling and on the road, you have to maintain two households.
Yeah.
You're not an employee. They don't pay you as an employee in wrestling. They like to gank you. They like to shake you in wrestling. So you are an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So you have all the responsibilities of expenses is on you. Hotel rooms.
Sure. Yeah. Rental cars,
food, all that. That's on you, except for flights, of course. But if it's a certain amount of miles, you may have to drive. And we would do stretches where we would fly one place. By the end of that leg, we've driven over 700 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For 3 hours after a show, you're dead tired and you're driving, 150 miles to the next town. Meanwhile, so-and-so got a big luxury charter bus and they passing you like, right. You know, you got ice on your shoulder driving like, yeah, okay, see y'all at the hotel. Well, no, I'm at a different hotel because y'all booked at a different hotel because the company paying for y'all because y'all employees and got health insurance. Good for y'all. Um,
So
yeah,
is
no.
that
So
is that what led to you leaving TNA the first time around?
well, first time around, when was the first? Oh, no, there were a lot of different aspects that snowballed to where I was like, you know, and it was mainly the attitude of them thinking I couldn't go anywhere else.
Um,
Um, I can't remember exactly word for word what was said. You know how you can't remember exactly what was said, but you remember how it made you feel.
yeah.
But it was along the lines of like, well, if you quit, they're not gonna hire you. Don't think you'll be on like Raw on Monday or whatever. They're not interested, and they would say stuff, like that. And but that wasn't the point to me because I made big cheddar in Japan. You know what I mean? I made buku bank in Japan. Japan, Tokyo's not cheap, and Kia was living large in Japan. So
Mm.
to me, that wasn't really even an issue, but it kind of burned me up. And when I left, I only had 70 something dollars in my bank account, and they owed me money, and they were holding it because of all the controversy, all the stuff that was going on at the time. And they thought, well, if we start her out, she gonna shut up. And they didn't know me, bitch. I'm from California. I will sell oranges off the freeway on ramp on the 110 on the 405 and make my cheddar. Don't play with me, okay? I'll get together and pluck some hair off some dogs and make me the finest wigs. Don't sell them at the store. Don't play with Mama Keith. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't think you got me over a barrel over some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
of the happiest times, like my mother was in entertainment. And in entertainment, you learn that there are lean days and there are, big money days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?